Yeah. This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I'm always grateful to be here with you beautiful people. Yeah, I know how I give it up here. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, especially if you're new, right? If you're new to the show, make sure you lock in with me, man. Even if I say something you like or say something you absolutely hate, you have to be on the right side of history nonetheless. You got to make sure you with the right team, you playing with the winning team nonetheless. But I'm always grateful for newcomers. I'm always grateful for new opinions, new perspectives on this show. So make sure you guys lock in, smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the show. And also make sure once you subscribe, you then hit that notification bell. Let me fill you in on something. The notification bell automatically lets you know whenever I go live, whenever I put any sort of content on the YouTube channel, on Chalk It Up Sports, anything that happens on the channel, anything. If you got that notification bell hit, it's going to remind you and let you know whenever I go live, whenever I do anything on here. You're never going to be behind. You're always going to be caught up on the latest action at Chalk It Up Sports. So again, make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed to the show if you haven't already. And make sure you hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, if you're new, I'm Tone DeShields II. Chalk It Up Sports. Here we cover the Philadelphia Eagles. We also cover other breaking news around the NFL. You guys are going to get my spin on things, my perspective, my passion, my analysis, just my overall purview when it comes to the NFL landscape as it pertains to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm always going to give you guys personality when it comes to this thing. I'm always going to give you guys pure energy. And I'm always going to be me unequivocally and give you my side of things. I'm always going to give you the Philadelphia Eagles truth, what I believe it to be. I'm always going to give you the players' truth, what I believe it to be. And then I'm going to always give you guys where I land, because it's always player versus the organization or the organization versus the player. And there's always sides being taken in this thing, right? But most importantly, I'm going to give you guys the full spin and then tell you guys where I land. And that's how we do things here at Chalk It Up Sports. We're very fair. We're very impartial. And we're always going to be honest and as objective as we possibly can be. So before I get too deep into the topic, because I do got some things that I want to talk to you guys about. My man Troll King Gaming in the building. Keisha White. Dylan Canepa. Appreciate you, my man, for being here. Flexing and stepping. My man BG31, thank you for being here and showing love. Slasher, what's good? What's good? So, yeah, let's get right into it, right? So you guys saw the thumbnail. I want to talk a little bit about the NFC East today. And we're going to talk about some of the players that the Philadelphia Eagles have hosted for visits. We're going to talk about players that they may be likely to take on draft night, where their hand is likely being laid. We're going to talk about Jalen Hurts and what he said over the weekend at the Women's National Championship game. He spoke about championships and the difference between being great and being the best. So we have some things to get into. And obviously, we're going to incorporate you guys' perspectives into the show. You guys are a part of the show, so make sure you guys are active in the live stream, even if you're on the YouTube side. If you're on the X side, it doesn't matter. If you're on the Facebook side, it doesn't matter. Make sure you guys are locked in and stay engaged in that live chat and all throughout the live stream, because your perspective can and will make it onto the show. And I'm always curious to know what you guys are thinking, because maybe I have it all wrong, right? Maybe my perspective is a little off and I need a little bit of a recalibration. And that's typically what happens sometimes. Sometimes I have a thought, and then I read some of you guys' messages and I say, oh, wow, that actually sounds a lot better. Or, oh, wow, that actually makes more sense than what I said. And I incorporate it as part of the show. So let's make sure we're always on the right side of things at Chalk It Up Sports. And that's just what we do here. So let's just start with the main thing that I want to discuss with you guys. I want to discuss the NFC East and as it stands right now. Okay? The Philadelphia Eagles did not win the NFC East last year. In fact, they came in second place to the Cowboys. The Cowboys won the NFC East with a 12-5 record. The Philadelphia Eagles came in second with an 11-6 record, and the Giants came in third with a 6-11 record, and the Washington Commanders came in dead last in the NFC East with a 4-13 record. Now, the reason I bring all that up is because Washington, they had the second overall pick. They're likely going to take a quarterback. It could be Caleb Williams. It could be Drake May. It could be Jaden Daniels. I think it's going to be one of those three gentlemen. It likely may be Caleb Williams, but if they like Jaden Daniels better, they may go that route. It all remains to be seen. And the Giants, with their 6-11 record, they have the number 6 spot in the NFL draft. So it's very likely the Washington Commanders and the New York Giants are going to be taking quarterbacks. It's very likely, it's very plausible to surmise that, right? And then when you think about the Dallas Cowboys, they are, make sure I have this right here. The Dallas Cowboys have the 24th overall pick in this upcoming draft. So they're likely not taking a quarterback. But here's the thing about them. Dak Prescott is entering his final year of his deal with the Dallas Cowboys, and they're allowing him to enter that season with things being unresolved. He's essentially starting the season on a lame duck contract. So all those narratives that I gave you guys when it comes to the Commanders, Giants, and Cowboys respectively, the common thread, the common theme between those three organizations is what? The common theme, the common thread is instability, a lack of a future at the most crucial position on the grass, on the turf. The most crucial position. I'll say it again. The common thread between the Commanders, the Giants, and the Cowboys is instability at the quarterback position. The Cowboys, in my opinion, are making it very clear that they're not willing to pay Dak any more money. The Giants jumped out the window and paid Daniel Jones about $40 to $45 million a season over the past 2 seasons, and they've gotten nothing in return for it. I think he's entering as a matter of fact, I think he's entering the second year of that extension. And then at that point, the guarantee money be gone, and they'll likely move on from him. And then the Commanders, they moved on from Tyler Heineke, and they moved on from Sam Howell and all those guys. So the Commanders don't have a quarterback in the building. They don't. And we're not even talking about some backup or third string guys that they have in the roster. The Commanders don't have a quarterback in the building. The Giants don't have a legitimate quarterback in the building. The Cowboys are about to let a legitimate quarterback walk out the building. So again, instability at those positions makes me believe that the NFC East is for the taking. The NFC East is wide open for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think the amount of instability that exists within those three organizations I mentioned in the NFC East, outside of the Philadelphia Eagles, the Eagles have to take advantage of that. You have to take advantage of your opponent being weakened. You cannot allow them to get confidence against you when you have the most stability in the division. You have your quarterback position shored up. You have your offensive line, for the most part, shored up. You have your skill positions guys, for the most part, shored up. Obviously, Devontae Smith's contract is coming up. He's going to get paid. That's not a question. You had the tight end shored up. Running back. Obviously, defense, there are some things that we have to work out there. And there's a lot of things that need to be proven on that side of the ball. But nonetheless, from the quarterback position, the Eagles are the most stable organization in the NFC East from the quarterback position. And everything always begins and ends there. So by my estimation, the Philadelphia Eagles better win the NFC East this year. Not they should or they could, they better. The Philadelphia Eagles better win the NFC East in 2024. Because with your opponents lacking stability like this, with the ops looking as shaky as they are, the Commanders have a lot of work to do. Let's just call it what it is. Could they be better this year? It's a possibility. But you bring in a rookie quarterback with a new head coach, new OCs and DCs, and your roster has experienced some turnover in the trenches, losing Montez Sweat via trade, losing Chase Young via trade, things like that. How solidified is their cornerback position? You feel what I'm saying? So when you think about it from that perspective, the Giants, right? What are they really? What are they? What are the Giants really? Like, come on. What are they? The Cowboys, talented roster. Don't get it twisted. Talented roster, had a bunch of Pro Bowlers and All Pros last year. Talented roster. That's a fact. But the quarterback position, Dak going into the final year of that contract with nothing locked up. How does that bode well for him in his play going forward? How does that bode well in the organization? There's a rumor that CeeDee Lamb might hold out. There's a rumor that Micah Parsons is disgruntled in the building, or whatever the narrative is when it comes to Micah Parsons and those guys in the Cowboys. There's a lot of instability in those organizations. With the Philadelphia Eagles, my man S. Blunt brought it up. The instability for the Philadelphia Eagles lies on the defensive side of the ball, which is very important, but I don't think it's something that they can't fix, especially this offseason, if they make the right moves and if a lot of the moves they made hit, right? People like to talk about how things can go wrong with Devin White, but what if things go right? You know, we bring up a lot of how things can go wrong with James Bradbury and Darius Slay, but what if things go right? You know? I talk about Jordan Davis and about the pressures on him and how things can go wrong. But what if things go right? You feel me? What if things go right? And I'm speaking with a lot of optimism today. If you guys are just joining, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You're tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. We are addressing the NFC East and the overall landscape of the division. There's instability everywhere in the NFC East. But the team that has the least amount of instability are the Philadelphia Eagles. And it starts with the quarterback position, right? So by my estimation, there's no reason why the Philadelphia Eagles can't win the NFC East, especially this season. When you have Dak Prescott entering a lame duck year of his contract, the Cowboys have decided not to extend him. We have no idea where their future holds. You see, people like to look. I don't like the Cowboys at all, right? But Dak Prescott is a quarterback that I do like, though, and that's just me being objective. I do like Dak Prescott as a quarterback. Does he fold in the big moments? Sure, it happens. But I do like Dak Prescott as a quarterback, and if he was playing for any other organization, I probably would like him even more. But he's a Cowboy, so you know, it's always fuck you. And I mean that with love. But you know, Dak Prescott, they got him going into a lame duck year. Daniel Jones, finito. You feel what I'm saying? The Commanders, they're hoping that they draft the right quarterback. They're hoping. But even beyond this upcoming season, right? What does the Cowboys quarterback situation look like? We don't know. What does the Giants quarterback situation look like after this year? Let's just say 2025. We don't know. What does the Commanders quarterback position look like in 2025? We don't know. We don't know. But the Eagles, I know Jalen Hurts is going to be here this year, next year, and the year after that. At the very least, I know that. For the next 3 years, I ain't got to worry about my quarterback position for the next 3 years at least. I don't. Right? As long as Jalen Hurts lives up to his side of the bargain. As long as Jalen Hurts continues to develop and progress and be a lethal assassin like I think he can be, right? So, again, the defense for the Eagles is the most unstable part of it. Very big deal. A lot of ifs. Bryce Huff. What if things go right with him? What if he turns out to be a player that we can rely on? Jalen Carter. What if things go right? Sidney Gardner-Johnson. What if he can stay healthy? What if? Just what if? Right? You know? And I'm mentioning some pretty big ifs. And I'm sorry if you guys are experiencing any connectivity issues on my end. Wi-Fi sometimes can be a little shaky around this time, but I'm doing my best here. Rock with me. You know, I don't see why the Philadelphia Eagles cannot take the NFC East. The offensive line still arguably the best in the division. Actually is the best in the division. I stand on that. I stand on that. The best skill position group in the division. Wide receiver, tight end, running back combination. The best in the division. I stand on that. I stand on that. Jalen Hurts, Pro Bowler, two-time, right? Former second team All-Pro. I stand on that. I stand on it. Made it to the Super Bowl, won the NFC Championship. I stand on that. So all I'm trying to say is the Philadelphia Eagles have everything that they could possibly need to take the division and, dare I say, take the conference. Coaches got to do their part, obviously. Howie Roseman has to draft well. This upcoming draft is so important. So important, especially for the future of your defense, in my opinion, because you have to draft well. You have to draft well. And we're going to get into some of their draft targets. We're going to get into that because they've hosted a plethora of players that could indicate where they may go in this draft. At the very least, it's telling us some of the positions that they're focused on. But the Eagles got to do their work. That's the bottom line. They got to carry the pail. They got to carry the boats. Michael Robinson says Sidney Brown has a bright future. I hope so. I hope so. I love the athleticism he brings to the position, right? He plays fast. He plays with aggression. He plays fearlessly. And that's the kind of guy you want. Technique has to catch up to the athleticism. But I think Sidney Brown, if he gets the right leadership, the right tutelage, I think Sidney Brown can be a good player. He has the athletic gifts you want at the position. Got to stay healthy, obviously, and got to continue to hone his motor. And I think Sidney Brown can definitely be a starter in this league. I'm not ready to jump out the window and say Pro Bowl or All Pro potential, but I am willing to say that he can be a starting safety in this league because he has the athletic gifts. His instincts and motor just need some refinement, and I think he can. And I think he'll be okay. But that comes with experience. He got a lot of it last year. Should have got more. Should have started him in week 1 over Terrell Edmonds. That's just my opinion, and allowed him to allow him to go through the growing pains. My man Dewad Jones, what's going on? He says it's a passing league. You need a cornerback that's A1, such as Patrick Surtain, Lattimore, guys like that. And I agree. You need legitimate cornerbacks. You do. That's why it's pivotal for the Eagles pass rush to be legitimate, but also it's crucial for Darius Slay and James Bradbury to get back on track. Now, what does the future hold for James Bradbury? Where does he fall on this thing, right? Do we have any faith that Bradbury can get back to being serviceable? Let's just start there. Can he get back to being serviceable? Can he get back to being trusted remotely? That's the multi-million-dollar question. Philly Entertainment says, we can take the NFC with the offense we got. I agree. You know, let's just hone in on the NFC East first, right? Because when you win your division, you get into the playoffs. And once you get in, anything can happen, right? But my eyes are set higher than just the division. But I am focusing on the division right now because that's where it begins. It begins with your division. Win your division, you get in. Win your division. But the Eagles have all the potential in the world to win the entire conference. But potential is a dangerous word because potential is simply skill, talent, and ability that hasn't quite been realized yet. That hasn't quite come to fruition. We know it's there, but we haven't quite seen it do it. And I think more so when I say that, I'm talking about the defense now. Obviously, the Eagles made it to the NFC Championship 2 years ago, made it to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. You know, they did that. But it all has to come together, and execution is going to be paramount. Stephen Taylor says, hey, Tone, just found you about a week ago. Have been listening to you daily. Best podcast out here. Fly Eagles Fly. Hey, Stephen, first and foremost, thank you for giving me an opportunity. I understand you have many, many, many options when it comes to your sports talk, when it comes to your sports, feeding your sports fix, rather. I know you got a ton of options, and for you to lock in with me regularly or for as long as you possibly can. I don't take that for granted, Stephen Taylor. So thank you for finding me. I'm grateful that the YouTube algorithm placed you here, and I'm even more grateful that I've been blessed with the ability to keep you here. So thank you, Stephen. Hope you continue to lock in with me, my man, and we're going to continue to have some fun, especially when draft day comes. My man, PFT, was good, big dog. You know, he says the Eagles will win at least 10 games again. That's a fact. I'm willing to bet on that too. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are definitely going to win 10 games. As of right now, today, I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning about between 11 and 12 games today. And that can change because the defense still has a lot to prove to me. So I don't want to completely jump out the window and say, oh, they're winning 14 games or they're winning 13 games. It's hard to do. It's hard to do when your defense is unproven. So to me, I give them grace and I say they're going to win between 11 and 12 games as of today. It all remains to be seen how some of their free agency moves pan out. It all remains to be seen how they do in this draft, and if those guys pan out, if they continue to develop guys, the coaching, Jalen Hurts, there's so many variables that go into it. That's why I love football, because there's so many variables that go into winning and losing. It makes for tremendous sports talk because we all can approach this thing from several different angles. If you guys are just joining the live stream, we're covering the NFC East, right, and how things are particularly wide open for the Philadelphia Eagles. If you go down each team in the NFC East, who appears at the very least appears to have the most stability as of today? And I'm willing to argue that's the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Let's just start with the most important position on the field. Again, I'm rehashing because I want to make sure we take care of the people who just joined. Let's just start from the quarterback position, top to bottom in the NFC East. Where's the most stability? Philadelphia. The Cowboys don't even know what their future holds beyond Dak Prescott after this season. They haven't even given him an extension, and he's in the final year of his deal. Daniel Jones, need I say more? And also, the Giants are likely going to draft a quarterback with the number 6 overall pick. Will that guy become a player? We don't know. And then Washington, they need a quarterback, and they're going to draft one. And again, will that guy become a player? We don't know. So just starting from the quarterback position, all those teams outside of the Philadelphia Eagles have so much instability. And when you have stability at the quarterback position, at the very least, you're going to win games and you're definitely going to win your division. It's just that simple. And I just think the Philadelphia Eagles have the best offense in their division, have the most talented offense in their division. That's just my opinion. Vlad says, how in the world did you let Swift leave the building? The funny thing about DeAndre Swift in Philly, I liked him. I liked him. I liked my guy in Philly, DeAndre Swift. I feel like they didn't give him enough tick or give him enough opportunities to really show what he can do. Now, granted, he had a career year with Philly, but I felt like he was still underutilized. I feel like they didn't use him to his fullest ability. Granted, he was a liability in pass protection, but other than that, I mean, pass protection is a big deal. Don't get it twisted. But other than that, I feel like they didn't maximize him. But Saquon Barkley is better. He's a better in pass pro for sure. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. Robert Driscoll says coaches, especially defensive coaches, have to instill accountability for their play or lack of play. Yes, I agree. Accountability is something that's going to be really important. Raheem Morris, the new head coach for the Atlanta Falcons, they was recording his first meeting with the players. And the level of attention to detail and the level of accountability that he exuded was seething through the screen. It was permeating through the screen. He had me ready to run through a brick wall, right? So what I'm saying is, you're only as good as your worst player, and you're only as good as your leadership. And leadership this season, like every other season, excuse me, you guys. Leadership, like every other season, is going to be paramount. It's going to be paramount. So Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio, Michael Clay. It's all on y'all. It's all on y'all to get this ship back on track. My man Tyler Broswell, welcome to the show. He says, just found my guy. I'm a fan from Jacob. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for rocking with me, and thank you for giving me a shot. I know you got a ton of options, and I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to to bless you real quick. So I appreciate you for blessing me. Thank you, Tyler. Here we go. Steven Taylor says Ringo is crazy athletic. We just need him to get more polish. Yeah, I love Ringo's physical tools, but he definitely needs some refinement. I think that goes without a shadow of a doubt. S. Blunt says, do you think Barkley can be offensive player of the year? In this offense, that's tough. It's tough. It's possible. It's possible, right? It's possible because CMC won offensive player of the year, right? And that Niners offense is stacked. So it's entirely possible that Saquon Barkley could win offensive player of the year. It's entirely possible for sure. Like, don't get me wrong. But when you got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert on your team, Jalen Hurts, obviously, it's possible, but I don't know, because it's going to be so stacked, and I guess I have an expectation that they're going to spread the ball around a lot. Like, Saquon's going to have a monster season, so I don't think it's impossible at all. It is possible, so I'll say that it's possible. Philly Entertainment says, once we've developed a good culture and defense plays good, play calling on offense works out, we should be good. Yeah. The reality is, I don't doubt the Eagles' culture. I don't doubt their ability to get the culture back on track. There's still some potent leadership in the building. On top of that, the defense has to play well. At the very least, the Philadelphia Eagles defense has to be, they got to be competent. At the very least. At the very least, that defense has to be competent. Can they go from being bottom 5 in the league to being top 13, top 12 in the league? I don't see why not. I don't see why not. like I said, people criticize the Devin White move. But what if it goes right? What if he gives the Philadelphia Eagles a legitimate season? What if Jordan Davis actually lives up to our expectations? What if Bradbury somehow has a competent season playing in front of CJ Gardner-Johnson? So it's we're playing a lot of we're playing the what if game here, right? We're playing the what if game. Best believe that. We're playing the what if game. But I think it's important to not only analyze our concerns, also think it's important to analyze um our optimism and see where it falls, right? You know, I'm an Eagles fan at the end of the day, so I want them to do well. And there's always that part of me. There's always that part of me that says, they'll be okay. My man Flexen says something very interesting. He says, I don't like what ifs. Well, to be quite frank with you, every team in the NFL, every any sports is laden with what ifs. Sports is just drowning in the what if bucket. That's just what it is. You know, especially in the off season, right? Where we are right now, April 8th, a few weeks before the draft. What if is all we got in the off season? That's the basis of content in the off season, right? What if? What if this? What if that? What if Caleb Williams turns into a player? What if Jaden Daniels resurrects the Commanders? This is all what if. It's all at the end of the day, it's all what if. Nothing is a sure thing in the NFL. Nothing is a sure thing. My man Fitness Warrior says, Tone, any cheesesteak yet? Hell no. Hell no, man. I haven't yet. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Didn't you recommend me who recommended me that cheesesteak spot in Dallas that was owned by a Philly guy? I can't remember. Can't remember who it was. I can't even remember. Death Row South says, because Jalen Hurts did not give a lot of people the 2022 season, they called this guy pretty much a bust. Listen, man. I don't buy into that talk. I really don't. It's low-hanging fruit to me. Did Jalen Hurts have the season that he wanted to have? Did he have the season that we expected him to have? No, he did not. And I will not make excuses for it. You can't turn the ball over at the clip that he did. You can't be out there looking like you're uncomfortable or like you don't know what you're doing. You can't have that. He had plenty of moments where I believe the technique was lacking. You know, the footwork at least, right? He just looked uncomfortable out there. He looked like he didn't trust what he was being taught or what he was being told. He looked unsure for most of that season. He just looked. I think the narrative for Jalen Hurts in 2022 was unsure. That was the theme. He looked unsure, and that can't happen, especially coming off of that 2022 season that you had. So, from my perspective, although he did have a setback season, I don't think what he's done so far is anything to be ashamed about, anything to be up in arms about, right? Things didn't go well last year, and it's a fact. And every time we have the conversation about it, I like to address it head on because there are some people who believe that I'm incapable of holding Jalen Hurts accountable. When, if you listen to the content, I'm very, very blunt about the Jalen Hurts saga and what he achieved and what he didn't achieve. I'm very, very blunt about that. So Jalen Hurts is being, he's under a ton of pressure. He's under a ton of pressure. And yes, me, I did catch the eclipse. Actually, I did catch the eclipse. But again, bottom line is, like I said, the NFC East for the taking, James. The NFC East is for the taking. It's for the taking. I hope you don't. Listen. As much as I appreciate James, our resident Commanders fan, as much as I appreciate him for always coming in and showing love, James, y'all not ready yet. Y'all not. Y'all not ready yet. You know, you're going to draft a quarterback. You're going to draft a quarterback, and you better hope he's better than Sam Howell. You better hope he's better. You better hope he's better than Sam Howell. And when I say up for grabs, I don't mean it's up for grabs for y'all. I don't think it's for the taking for y'all. I think at the very least, the NFC East is between Eagles and Cowboys at the very least. And flexing, I'm curious. Listen, flexing. You can give them all you can give them all the reverence you want. As far as I'm concerned, the Commanders don't have a quarterback. The Giants don't have a quarterback. The Cowboys, they got one, but they don't want to keep him. So this is one of those moments where I say, not just this season, but even beyond that, what are the Commanders at the quarterback position? What are the Giants or the Cowboys at the quarterback position? Just beyond that. Like, I can't look at the Giants right now and take them seriously yet. I can't look at the Commanders and take them seriously yet. I just can't. I can't take them seriously yet. You know, do they play as tough? Sure. But I can't take them seriously yet. They're picking number 2 in the draft. Come on. Like, are you talking about the Giants? Look, man, a lot of things went wrong at that time. A lot of things went wrong. But you're not going to sit here and try to convince me to take the Giants serious. I'm sorry. I never will. I never will. There's a better chance of me taking the Commanders serious before I take the Giants serious. And I say that with love. I say that with love. Oh, I know this. This is the NFL, dog. Everybody got to do their job. And at the end of the day, you got to lace it up against everybody. Got to lace it up against everybody, no matter who they are, no matter what they record say. You got to go out there and play. Come on, y'all. First of all, this is me we talking about. This is me. If you were true listener to the content, y'all know I respect every opponent. If y'all really listen to my show, y'all know I respect every opponent. But every now and again, we got to have fun. And every now and again, we got to talk our shit. And every now and again, you got to remind some of these teams that, hey, it's levels to this thing. Every now and again. If y'all really listen to my show, y'all know I give reverence to the opponent. I do. But you're drafting a rookie quarterback. You better hope he pans out. I think one of you guys mentioned Houston and CJ Stroud, right? Listen, regardless, so far, CJ Stroud is the only quarterback from his draft class to pan out remotely. We don't know where Bryce Young is, number 1 overall pick. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is this quarterback position, it's not as simple as drafting a guy and expecting everything to. It's not that simple to think that you're going to draft a guy and think that it's all going to just be fixed. That's all. That's all. So you draft the Jaden Daniels or you draft the Caleb Williams. Okay. I hope they are as advertised. I really do. Because me personally, I prefer a competitive division. I prefer a division where everybody can get it. That's my perspective. We'll see. I prefer a tougher division. I prefer a division where anybody can get it. But as of right now, as of April 8th, Commanders, Giants, even the Cowboys, it's like, all right, you know, I know. Things went wrong for the Eagles on the back end of the season. I get it. Totally understand it, right? Regardless, though, we're going to see. All right, let's shift gears. If you guys are just hopping in, we were talking about the NFC East and how it's for the taking, really. It's really for the taking. Do I expect the Commanders to be a little better? Yeah. Do I expect the Giants to be a little better? Yeah. Maybe the Giants. I don't know. That quarterback position is a mess. Do I expect the Cowboys to be better? I have no idea, if I'm being honest. The Cowboys are just, like James Jones said, problematic. So, all I'm trying to imply here is that although there is a ton of unknowns throughout the NFC East, and although the division is very competitive at times, in my humble opinion, the Eagles are the best or the most poised to dominate the division for the foreseeable future. They're poised the best out of all the teams in the division to dominate it for the foreseeable future. That's the only point I'm making, right? That's the only point I'm trying to make. Now we can get into the nitty-gritty, but I believe that out of all the teams in the division, the Eagles are the most set up for success. I stand on that. All right. Now, I want to get into another topic with you guys. I want to talk to you guys about the players that the Philadelphia Eagles have visiting. I think they had 30 players visit, something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through several of the prospects that the Philadelphia Eagles are or that have hosted for visits. And then we're going to read their draft profile, their scouting report, and see if this player is someone we should probably take serious, right? So, real quick, let's bring up this list. So these are the players, and I'm gonna keep scrolling, obviously, but these are some of the players that the Philadelphia Eagles are looking at, or that they've brought in for visits, and based off of this article via Bleeding Green Nation, written by Dave Mangels. Have the Philadelphia Eagles tip their hand ahead of the 2024 NFL Draft? Interesting. Says here, pro days are over. All that is left in the draft process is for teams to finish up their 30 visits, finalize their draft board, and then spend 2 weeks hotboxing the media. In the NFL, where there is smoke, there isn't always fire. In recent years, the Eagles' prospect visits were mostly a collection of early to mid first round talents. This year, they are more focused on players projected to be late first to second round selections, which of course makes a lot of sense since they have 3 picks between 22 and 53. So, the first name on the list, offensive tackle Brandon Coleman. The next name, offensive tackle Travis Glover, Georgia State. Offensive tackle Tyler Guyton, Oklahoma. Guard Cooper Beebe, Kansas State. Guard Christian Mahogany, Boston College. Guard Zach Winter, Michigan. Wide receiver Brendan Rice, USC. Wide receiver Anaya Smith, Texas A&M. Defensive tackle Christian Boyd, Northern Iowa. Edge rusher Laiatu Latu, UCLA. Edge Marshawn Nealand, Western Michigan. Edge Chop Robinson, Penn State. Linebacker Edgerrin Cooper, Texas A&M. Linebacker Jalen Ford, Texas. Linebacker Trevin Wallace, Kentucky. Cornerback Cooper DeJean, Iowa. Cornerback Andrew Phillips, Kentucky. Cornerback DeCamerion Richardson, Mississippi State. So these are all the prospects the Philadelphia Eagles have hosted for their visits, for their pre-draft visits. And based off of this, if you had to ask me what the Philadelphia Eagles are leaning towards in that first round, or at the very least with their top 3 picks, D-line, O-line, and corner. D-line, O-line, corner. They got 3 edge rushers and a DT on this list, and they got 6 offensive linemen, 3 tackles, and 3 guards. They only have 2 wide receivers on the list. They got 3 linebackers on the list, and they got 3 corners on the list. Cooper DeJean, a lot of people have him pegged as a safety, by the way. But also, again, is it smokescreen? Is this where do we see them falling, right? Will they go corner in the first round? Will they go Cooper DeJean, who's that hybrid corner / safety? I think a lot of people want him at safety because of that size. Could they go Chop Robinson from Penn State on the edge? Do they go Edgerrin Cooper in the second round? Do they go O-line in the first round? There's so many ways they can go about this. Wide receiver in the second round. They have options. But let's just do a bit of a deep dive on some of these players, right? So let's just start from the top. Offensive tackle Brandon Coleman out of TCU. Okay. Let's do that. Again, we're going to go through the list of these players and read their scouting reports. All right. So the first name was Brandon Coleman, TCU. Give me a second to find my man. Brandon Coleman, TCU. All right. There we have it. Brandon Coleman, TCU. All right. So, as of right now, and look, no one's saying this guy is a first round pick. We're not saying that, but we're just going in the order of the list. I believe the list was in alphabetical order, but also in positional order as well. Um, these guys aren't in order of draft status or mock draft. They're not in any order. Let me make that clear, by the way. Um, they're not in any order. It was just a list of players. They ordered them based off of position and alphabetical order. So they started with the tackles, and then they just put them in order based off of the last names. So here we go. All right. Brandon Coleman, 6'4", 313 out of TCU. He's a senior. His projected position in the league is a multi-role offensive lineman. He's a pretty athletic dude. Ran a 4.9 40 with a 1.73 10-yard split. Long arms. All right, so let's read Coleman's strengths. Scouting report for Brandon Coleman. Coleman has elite athletic skills. Made Bruce Feldman's freak list at number 61. He wrote Coleman, unrated by the recruiting sites coming out of high school, has an impressive 35-inch vertical jump and regularly runs 18 miles per hour. He squats 600 pounds, benches 400, and power cleans 375. Quick feet to get inside of defensive tackles to wall off inside and reach linebackers at the second level. Has a naturally wide base, thickly built and good length. Pause. Long legs to cover a lot of ground with his initial kick slide. Has the quickness to set up quickly with enough lateral shuffle to mirror and mobility to get to the second level. In pass protection, Coleman flashes a strong initial punch. And typically has good hand placement. Best on the outside because of his height and athleticism, but is capable of blocking on the move. Blocks, dropping on defenders when he has them on the ground. Coleman shows good awareness, reacting to twists and stunts as a pass protector, and he has the strength to anchor against bigger defensive linemen. Plays with appropriate wide base and intelligence, instincts and agility to seal the edge. Aggressive extending with power to punch and looks comfortable in space. So he sounds like a solid prospect. Weaknesses include having issues against quality counter moves, struggling to readjust. That's something he'll see frequently against NFL technicians in the pass rush. Has enough power in the run game, but at times Coleman seems to lack a mean streak. Protecting on an island will be a challenge against rushers who can dip and bend around the edge. He'll also struggle against good counter moves. He often gets into position on his initial set before failing to sufficiently adjust. So basically, he needs to see more talent in front of him. He needs to be exposed to more talented guys so he can get better. He has all the physical abilities. They love the athleticism, but he does struggle with counter moves. That quality edge rushers can put on you. But in my opinion, I think all that stuff is coachable. I think all that stuff is entirely fixable. That's just me. So yeah, that was Brandon Coleman. I like this prospect. I like it. I like everything I'm reading. Size is solid. Athleticism is there. Just need some more refinement, and that's pretty much what you're going to get with a lot of these guys. I don't think this is anything that our guy Jeff Stoutland can handle. Let's put it that way. All right, let's go to our next guy. Let's go to our next prospect. So the next prospect was offensive tackle Travis Glover. Travis Glover out of Georgia State. Okay, let's see where our guy's doing. Travis Glover. Let's see here. Travis Glover. For some reason, they don't have him on here. For some reason. Travis Glover, Georgia State. Strange. Did I pass? Hmm. Huh. They ain't got him on here. Fascinating. Let me see. All right. I'll skip him for now, and we'll go to our guy Tyler Guyton. That's a guy that's more so higher on the draft boards. He's a higher ranked offensive lineman. So where is he? Travis Guyton. Where was I? I don't want to go to 2011. I mean, 2021. Are they dumb? 2024. Offensive lineman. There we go. Now, where are you? Travis Guyton. Tyler Guyton. There it is. All right, Tyler Guyton. Woo! 6'8", 322. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Tyler Guyton, 6'8", 322. My God. Right tackle out of Oklahoma. He's the eighth ranked offensive lineman in the draft. As far as tackles go, let me see if I can try to get more specific with that. As far as tackles go, he's the sixth. No, I'm sorry. He's the eighth ranked tackle. Well, that's about right. All right. Let's go to some unrushables. Height, 6'8", check. Weight, solid. Could probably has to put on some more muscle. Probably needs to put on some more size, but solid. Hands and arms, fair. Wingspan, solid. 10-yard split, solid. Vertical, spectacular. His 40-yard dash, solid. Broad jump, good. You know, he has quick feet. All right, let's get to some of his wow, interesting. ESPN and 24/7 Sports are not kind to him right now. His draft projection is late first. Okay, we'll see. Played in 26 games, over 1,000 snaps. Okay. Let's get to the strengths. Tyler Guyton, right tackle out of Oklahoma. So Tyler Guyton has an exceptional frame and build, standing at 6'7" and 328 pounds, ideal for the physical demands of an NFL offensive tackle. Displays superior athleticism for his size, with nimble footwork that allows for effective engagement and maneuverability against defenders. Impressive explosiveness off the snap, especially in run blocking, showcasing the ability to open lanes and dominate in the run game. I like that. Light on his feet, nimble, strong, and explosive in the run game. Exhibits a broad range as a puller, adept at navigating to secure running lanes, and displaying a notable capacity for movement in open space. Great spatial awareness. Powerful in his engagement with defenders, utilizing his length and burst to effectively control and overpower the opposition. Consistently maintains balance and leverage. That's really important. Crucial for re-anchoring and sustaining blocks against powerful defensive efforts. Capable of precise and disciplined pass protection, managing depth and alignment to effectively neutralize pass rush threats. That tells me he knows where to be. Demonstrates a high level of technical skill and pass sets, yielding control and power application that sets him apart. So this guy kind of comes, pre-made, already made a little bit. Let's read some of the weaknesses though. While his size is advantageous, his arm length and leverage may not be considered elite, potentially limiting maximum effectiveness against top-tier defenders. Occasional lapses in hand placement and grip strength, highlighting areas for improvement in sustaining blocks and controlling engagements. Okay, you can coach that. His tall stature sometimes complicates his ability to achieve optimal pad level, particularly against lower and quicker defensive linemen. You know, when you're that tall, right? A guy like Hassan Reddick can kind of take advantage of you because he's not he's not a big guy, you know, big in terms of like me, but he's 6'1", 240. You know, he can get that bend and get under that 6'8" guy. So yeah, that's gonna be a little tough being that tall. Says here, experiences challenges in adjusting on the fly to complex defensive schemes, such as stunts and gap exchanges, indicating a need for enhanced play recognition. Okay, so more experience, more coaching, he'll get that. Limited starting experience at the collegiate level, raising questions about readiness and adaptability to the professional game's demands. Limited as a run blocker, where he is often late off the line and lets the running back outrun him. Wait, that just confused me. You just said he has explosiveness getting off the line in the run game and run blocking. You just said he was exceptional as a puller, but now you're saying he's limited? This is the part where it gets annoying for me. But overall, though, this guy has a lot of raw athletic ability, but I think he can refine a lot of that. He can refine a lot of that. If you guys are just joining, welcome to the show. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And we started the show talking about the NFC East and how wide open it is. And now, where we are, we're discussing the Philadelphia Eagles draft board, so to speak. Or, let me rephrase that, players that they're hosting for visits that they have hosted, right? Oh, they hosted offensive tackle Brandon Coleman, tackle Travis Glover out of Georgia State, tackle Tyler Guyton, who we're just wrapping up right now. We're about to transition to the guards. Again, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're looking at six. They hosted 6 offensive linemen for visits, 3 tackles, 3 guards. But as of right now, let's get to our next guy, Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State. Let's see. Cooper Beebe. All right. He looked like a guard. All right. Cooper Beebe, 6'3", 322 out of Kansas State. He's a senior. He's considered to be ranked 11th amongst his position. All right, let's get to the measurables. He's 22 years old. They project his position to be a multi-role offensive lineman. So his height, 6'3", weight, 322, not bad. Hands, small. Arm length, short. Very athletic, though. Ran a 5-second 40, 7.44 second 3-cone drill with a 1.75 10-yard split, 4.71 second shuttle, 109-inch broad jump. He's an athletic dude for sure. Very quick on his feet, very light on his feet. They're saying these ads. Okay, so his draft projection is mid-second round. That's right on line with the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's read some of his strengths and weaknesses. So, Cooper BB. Yo, Dan Quan, ain't that crazy? 6'3", 322, being small is crazy. That is wild when you think about it in regular human everyday life terms, right? That's calling somebody who's 6'3", 322 small is insane, right? Especially me, because I'm only 6 feet, 215, 214. So when you hear people say that, it's like, come on, dog. Perspective. So I feel you, Dan Quan. I feel you on that. My man, as Blunt says, I believe he was a first team All American. Yeah, I think he was. Let me double check that though. Says here. Let's see. Cooper BB's journey from a 3-star recruit to a consensus AP All American and a 2-time Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year is a story of relentless work and adaptation. Oh, okay. Versatile. Versatile. All right, let's get to the strengths. All right. Dan Quan says Sayamalu was 6'3", 305. Yeah, I know that's crazy, right? That's crazy. Anyway, all right. Cooper BB's strengths. Powerful play strength allows him to dominate first-level defenders and maintain a solid anchor against the bull rush. Exceptional at processing defensive snaps, enhancing his effectiveness in pass protection and decision-making on the fly. Proven versatility with extensive experience across multiple offensive line positions, underscoring his adaptability. That's been a constant narrative throughout his career, being able to adapt and play all up and down the line. Superior hand technique and balance enable effective engagement and control over defenders throughout the play. Strong foundational skills in both run and pass blocking, demonstrating his comprehensive football acumen. Displays leadership and a high football IQ, contributing significantly to team dynamics and performance. Exhibits remarkable power at the point of attack, effectively driving defenders to open run lanes. Adept at executing pulls and advancing to the second level, impacting the run game with his agility. Elite pass protector on the inside, has a quality set of tools, and naturally adapts to interior rushes. I like this guy. Scouting report weaknesses. Shorter arm length can hamper the ability to fully extend and control engagements, impacting effectiveness against certain defenders. Challenges with lateral movement and speed may pose issues against fast edge rushers at the professional level. Oh, he's a guard. I'm not going to be dealing too much with edge rushers, but I feel you. Needs to maintain a lower pad level when engaging at the second level to maximize leverage and blocking efficiency. Adjustment to NFL level athleticism will be crucial, highlighting the need for ongoing technique refinement. Jeff Stoutland, you baby. Potential for balance issues due to occasional lunging at defenders, necessitating improved consistency and technique. So he needs another guy, just needs some more refinement. That's how I look at it. Needs more refinement. All right. Give me a moment. Let's go to our next prospect that we're looking at here. Christian Mahogany, Boston College. Christian Mahogany. Let's see here. Man, at this point, it's entirely possible the Eagles draft the O-line in the first round. It's entirely possible. We may not like it, though. All right. Christian Mahogany. My man S. Blunt with the $2 super chat. He says, thoughts drafting a big tackle first round that sits. Man, that's a good question. Me personally, especially right now, I need to draft somebody that's going to play day one. I need to draft a player, and particularly on defense, I need to draft a player that's going to give me an immediate return on my investment. So I say that to say the Eagles, they don't need to reach for O lineman in this draft. They really don't. They don't need to jump at an O lineman in the first round. And by my estimation, I think the Philadelphia Eagles, they can draft an offensive lineman in the second round, the fourth round, and they'll still be okay. That's what I think. I think that first round, they got to go defense. They got to go defense. We talk a lot about whether it should be edge rusher, linebacker, corner. Regardless, they need to go defense in that first round. That's where I'm at with this thing. The Eagles got to go defense in that first round. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You got to give yourself some more bullets in the gun on defense. As much optimism as I have for the Eagles, there's still a ton of unanswered questions. That's the unfortunate reality. That's the unfortunate reality, that they have a lot of unanswered questions on that defense side of the ball. And they got to go defense in that first round, be it edge or corner. At this rate, I think it's either going to be an edge rusher or Cooper DeJean, and then they're going to move him to safety. That's what I think. That's what I think, man. All right. Thank you again, Blunt, for the $2 super chat, my man. I always appreciate you, big dog. All right. Now, where was I? Christian Mahogany, right? All right. Christian Mahogany. Guard from Boston College. 6'3", 314. 19th ranked at his position. They say he can either be a left guard or a right guard, so he's versatile. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So this is another guy that's pretty athletic, pretty light on his feet. Just look at the 40-yard dash times, the shuttle times, the 10-yard splits, the broad jumps, the vertical. Great arm length as well. 82 2/8 of an inch. Wingspan is legit. That's a fact. But as you guys can see on the right side, Cooper Beebe, they got him up higher. They got him up higher a little bit. On top of that, another player that they're looking at is Zach Zinter, excuse me. We're going to get into him too, out of Michigan. But let's stay on Christian Mahogany for right now. Here we go. So when it comes to Christian Mahogany, his strengths, he brings a physical, aggressive approach to the game, using his strength to overpower defenders. Skilled in executing double teams and combo blocks, demonstrating quickness and precision. Effective in pass protection with the ability to absorb power and neutralize rushers. Displays remarkable recovery quickness, maintaining engagement through his reach. Excels as a puller and in screen plays, moving fluidly to create openings for runners. Utilizes stiff, strong hands to disrupt defenders' momentum and protect the quarterback. Adept at identifying and adjusting to stunts and twists, maintaining solid defensive fronts. Embodies a mauler's mentality with the drive and power to finish blocks aggressively. See, I like that. I like a guy that's relentless, has a mentality. I feel like in order to play an offensive line, in order to play in the trenches in general, you have to have a certain mentality. And one of the knocks on, I believe it was BB, right, is that he can be, was it BB? Who was that? I think it was either BB or Taylor Guyton. Probably was Guyton. That sometimes they don't have that dog. They don't have that dog. All right, let's get to Christian Mahogany's weaknesses. Scouting report for offensive guard Christian Mahogany out of Boston College. Struggles with consistent footwork, especially against complex defensive movements. Tends to overset against crafty rushers, leading to vulnerabilities in pass protection. Needs to enhance spatial awareness to avoid creating gaps in the offensive line. Occasionally plays beyond his center of gravity, making him susceptible to counters. Lacks the lateral quickness to effectively handle edge-to-edge rushers and pass protection. He's a guard, though, so he's not going to be going but go so far. But again, this is a very, very strong offensive line class. Roast Pork Italian, what's good? S. Blunt brings up a very good point. Kelsey, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Mailata. None of those guys are first round. Hey, Tyler Steen, not a first rounder. The only first rounder on the offensive line is Lane Johnson. That's it. Lane Johnson. He's the only first rounder. So my man JT, he says, did you already check out Mason McCormick, guard out South Dakota State? No, I didn't. Because what we're doing right now is we're actually addressing the players that the Philadelphia Eagles have brought in for interviews or for their for their visits. So we discussed Brandon Coleman out of TSU, tackle, Travis Glover, tackle out of Georgia State, Tyler Guyton, tackle out of Oklahoma, guard Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State, and recently just did Christian Mahogany, guard out of Boston College. Next, we're going to do Zach Zinter. Zach Zinter, offensive guard out of Michigan. Let's see here. All right. Zach Zinter is ready to go. So Zach Zinter, guard. Wow, 6'6", 309. A lot of height. 6'6", 309. Projected to be a right guard. With that height and that weight, you kind of expect a bigger body, but that's okay. His arm length and his 40 is pretty mediocre. All right. Let's get to the strengths here. Scouting report when it comes to Zach Zinter's strengths on the offensive line. Donna Roan says, notice that so far, good players that have coachable weaknesses. Of course, absolutely. Absolutely. Roast Pork says, I like Zinger. Or Zinter, excuse me. He likes Zinter. All right. Zach Zinter, offensive guard out of Michigan. Let's read his strengths. Broad upper body and strong hands enable him to sustain blocks effectively and combat bull rushers. Exceptional in executing short pulls and second-level climbs, taking optimal angles to impact the game beyond the line of scrimmage. Intelligent and disciplined, with accolades for his academic and leadership qualities, underscoring his tactical and strategic understanding of the game. Boasts an impressive record of 33 straight starts, illustrating his reliability and consistency on the field. I like that. He's healthy. Displays a powerful blocking presence, using his physicality and leverage to knock defenders backward and control engagements. His experience against elite defensive lines in practice translates to advanced readiness for the NFL competition. So far, he seems to be the most NFL-ready guard that I've read. technically proficient with the ability to maintain balance and positioning through diligent hand resetting and foot driving. Displays a notable agility or a notable ability to anchor against bull rushes, showcasing strong lower body strength. Okay, I like this guy. Now the weaknesses. Recovery from a late 2023 broken tibia and fibula raises concerns about immediate impact and durability. Oh, so he got hurt, but it was like later on. Struggles with quickness and explosiveness, but it's a broken tibia and fibula. He'll be okay. He didn't tear anything. Struggles with quickness and explosiveness off the snap, which may limit effectiveness in pass protection and against speed rushers. Faces challenges with two gappers who can punch and separate, highlighting a need for improvement in handling physical confrontations. Below average short area quickness and stiffness in hips suggest limitations in mobility and flexibility. While strong in many aspects, his overall average mobility and difficulty with speed adjustments could hinder adaptability in diverse offensive schemes. Late season injury in 2023 saw him break his tibia and fibula, which will need to be checked out medically. So he's typically been a healthy guy, but late in the year, he broke his fibula and his tibia, or his fibula and his tibia. Huh. Still, I like what they have to say about this guy for the most part. He's been playing in some legitimate competition over the past few years at Michigan. We'll see though. So far, I do like the offensive lineman that the Philadelphia Eagles have been looking at. I do like that. All right. Let's see here. We got about 30 minutes left in the show. Let's try to get through this. Let's try to go to something a little bit entertaining. All right, wide receiver, Brendan Rice. Let's do that. Brendan Rice, USC. All righty then. Oh, this is Jerry Rice's son. I forgot about that. All right, so the Philadelphia Eagles are looking at Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son. They are looking at that. He's a senior out of USC. Listen, man, I'll take a shot on him. He got that in his blood. He got it in his blood. I'm sorry. I'm rolling. But anyway, 6'2", 208. I love the measurables so far. 6'2", 208. I like that. I like that a lot. Mm-hmm. I like that. So they view him as an outside receiver. He ran a 4.5 40. Not awfully impressive. But here's the thing, though, right? When you look at his measurables, they're all pretty much solid, mediocre to solid, right? Height 6'2". I like that. Weight 208. I can work with that. Hands and arm length and span, vertical. All that stuff is solid. 10-yard split. It's solid. The 40 time, a little mediocre. The bench press and the shuttle and the broad jump, a little mediocre. But I'm interested because he's Jerry Rice's son. Sorry, I'm interested. All right, let's see. Let's read the background first, because normally I skip this, but I want to read Jerry Rice's son's background. Danquan Barkley says D Hop and Julio ran 4.5s. Yeah, I know it's a little overrated. All right. So we got 47 people locked in on the YouTube side, 49 people locked in on the X side, Twitter side. Thank you guys so much for locking in on the show. I really appreciate all your support. Let's continue to keep this thing going. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It means a lot to me. Helps the content grow. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's see. So Brendan Rice, the son of the iconic NFL Hall of Famer Jerry Rice, has been carving out a reputation in college football, distinct from the colossal shadow of his legendary father. Jerry's NFL career is unmatched, having set records for career receptions, yards, and touchdowns, predominantly with the San Francisco 49ers. Brendan's football journey kicked off at Hamilton High School in Chandler, Arizona. Recognized for his talent, he was designated as a three-star recruit by both ESPN and 24/7 Sports. Upon graduation, Brendan committed to the University of Colorado. In his freshman year, 2020, he played in limited action, had 6 receptions for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns with an impressive average of 20 yards per reception and a QB rating of 68.8 when targeted. His sophomore year at Colorado saw significant improvement. Over 11 games, he totaled 21 receptions for 299 yards, holding a 14.2 yards per catch average and securing 3 touchdowns. His QB rating when targeted surged to an excellent 127.0. By 2022, Brendan transferred to USC, where his trajectory continued upward. In his junior year, over 13 games, he recorded 33 catches for 437 yards, an average of 13.2 yards per catch, and scored 2 touchdowns. His quarterback rating when targeted was a solid 93.0. Apart from football, Brendan's athleticism shown on the track. During his high school years, he posted an impressive 10.78 second time in the 100-meter. So his college stats don't blow you away. But the physical traits, on top of that, being Jerry Rice's son, that goes a long way with me. And he's shown an ability to get better every single year. Let's read his strengths, though. Brendan Rice. Right? Brendan Rice. Yeah, Brendan Rice. When it comes to his strengths, Brendan Rice made Bruce Feldman's freak list at number 53. Feldman said, the biggest freak of the bunch is the one with the heftiest football bloodlines. Brendan Rice, son of the greatest receiver ever, Jerry Rice. The younger Rice, who had 39 catches for 611 yards with a 15.7 yard average and 4 touchdowns in 2022, is 6'3", 215 pounds, and hits 23 miles per hour on the GPS and had an impressive 1.43 10-yard split. This offseason, Rice also vertical jumped 38 inches and did 17 reps of 225 on the bench and squatted 525 for 3 reps. Oh, wow, he is a physical freak. And also, sometimes that football speed is a lot quicker than your track speed. So his 40-yard dash time may not be that impressive, but football speed is a lot different. I think y'all know that. Utilizes his outstanding length and alpha dog mentality on 50-50 balls and displays an expansive catch radius. I like that. Despite his tall frame, showcases rare suddenness and bursts off the line of scrimmage, presenting challenges for DBs during route transitions. Flaunts high caliber boundary awareness and body control, often seen toe tapping or making leaping grabs near the sidelines. A natural hands catcher, he consistently high points the ball, diminishing a defender's chance to break up the play in tight windows. While not just a vertical threat due to his impressive top end speed, he's a yak monster, showing elusiveness, post-catch and open field, brings versatility to special teams. His kick and punt return prowess at Colorado underscores his multidimensional skill set. He's a proven clutch player with big game DNA, consistently elevates his play in high-stakes situations like Tulane and Oregon outings. Okay. Yo, listen, I like him. Man. And look, hold on real quick, my man. S. Blunt with another super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says wide receiver 3 equals slot, speed, return specialist for us. It's funny. A guy like Brendan Rice, he brings you so much athletic ability at the position. I wouldn't even be against trying him at the slot. I wouldn't even be against it. I wouldn't even be against it. But I know Breed talked about Xavier Worthy. I think a lot of people are looking at him like, yo, that speed is tremendous. But Brendan Rice, I like him. I like him. And I know we don't like to have this conversation, but if we're thinking about life beyond AJ Brown, what if Brendan Rice could turn into a player? It all remains to be seen. Thank you again, S. Blunt, with the $2 super chat, my man. I really appreciate it. Okay. All right. Sorry if I'm a little all over the place, guys. Got a little bit of a headache. Scouting report for Brendan Rice's weaknesses. Remind you, Brendan Rice, USC wide receiver, formerly Colorado. Says here, while blessed with a sizable frame, he struggles to consistently play through contact, particularly on contested routes. Despite being listed at 215 pounds, his somewhat slender build may be a concern when matching up with more physical. I'm not paying that no mind. Y'all said the same thing about Devontae. Has a tendency to overcomplicate releases, often dancing at the line rather than immediately establishing his route. Production metrics are volatile, needs to showcase consistent weekly output rather than sporadic big game bursts. Well, a lot can go into that. That can be game plan, like it's so much that can go into that. So I'm not going to hold that against him. I think the one weakness that stands out to me the most is the tendency to overcomplicate releases. The last thing you want to do is be caught tap dancing at the line of scrimmage and you still haven't made your move yet. Gives the DB too much time to get hands and feet on you. Anyway, in summary, at 6'3", 215 pounds, he's the prototype for an NFL X receiver. With natural hands, he's demonstrated the ability to pluck balls out of the air, and his field vision allows him to turn upfield and eat yards after the catch. I like that, man. I like that, being a yak monster. Okay. And that was Brendan Rice out of USC/Colorado. Roast pork Italian. He says Xavier Worthy is the size of a 7th grader, rather a guy with a 4.45, and he's grown. That's funny. All right, let's see who we got in this list next. Anais Smith out of Texas A&M, wide receiver. Huh. All right. We got about 25 minutes left in the show, you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys remain engaged in the content. I really appreciate it. Shout out to my people on the Twitter side. Shout out to my family on the YouTube side. I appreciate all you guys. Even shout out to everybody on the Facebook side. All right, let's see here. Anais Smith. Anais Smith. There he is. Anais Smith, Texas A&M. Let's see what the measurables looking like. Let's see what we're working with. Anais Smith for 1,000. Shit's taking forever. All right. So, he's 5'9". This dude is small. 5'9", 190. I don't know, man. Like it's not the weight, it's the height. 5'9" though. 5'9", we're at a 4.48 40-yard dash. Texas A&M. He's projected to be a slot receiver in the NFL. 22 years old. Strong. Very strong for his size. He bench pressed. He had 21 reps on the bench press. Very, 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 very awesome. Very awesome. What's his story? All right. Anais Smith. Wait, hold on. Time's out. I'm confused. Hold on 1 second. They got him as a wide receiver on here, but for some reason, let me make sure. Okay, position wide receiver. So why they got running back right here? Anyway, Anais Smith, wide receiver out of Texas A&M. These are his strengths. All right, let's see. Says here, Anais Smith's versatility allows him to impact games in multiple phases, including receiving, rushing, and special teams, showcasing his adaptability. Renowned for his ability to create yards after the catch, Smith displays exceptional play strength and contact balance. He possesses a natural quickness and fluidity in his movement, making him a threat in open space with elusive, slippery run at the catch capabilities. Smith's route running quickness and ability to separate in and out of breaks highlight his polished skills as a receiver. His hands are reliable, catching the ball seamlessly away from his frame and transitioning quickly to gain yards. I like that. Smith demonstrates a high football IQ with a great feel for timing and finding soft spots and zones. I like that a lot. I like that a lot too. As a return man, Smith's explosiveness and vision can immediately upgrade special teams. His fearlessness and competitive nature shine through in contested situations, and as a blocker, embodying the ethos of a blue-collar football player. Okay, look, I do have a preference when it comes to height for my receivers. I'm sorry, that's just me. I'm not saying guys. I'm not saying guys under 6 feet can't make it, but I just have a preference. That's all. But I do like the fact that you can use them in a multitude of ways. The slot, special teams. He gets in and out of his breaks very smoothly. Strong candidate for yak yards. Strong dude, very strong dude. So look, I don't want to write him off, right? I don't want to write him off. Everything that I've read, I do like outside of the height. I just have a preference as far as height. Sue me. All right, let's get to Anais Smith's weaknesses. I think we're gonna end it after Anais Smith. I want to reserve some of these guys for later in the week. We're gonna talk more about these guys tomorrow. Um, yeah, so this is what we're gonna do, you guys. Because we have a handful of players to still address that visited the Philadelphia Eagles, we're going to stop it at Anais Smith, wide receiver, Texas A&M. And tomorrow we're going to address D tackle Christian Boyd out of Northern Iowa, edge rusher Laiatu Latu, UCLA, edge rusher Marshawn Nealon out of Western Michigan, Chop Robinson out of Penn State. We're also going to tap into Edgerrin Cooper and Jalen Ford and Trevin Wallace. We can do that too. So, yeah, let me get to Anais Smith's weaknesses. So it says here, Anais Smith plays his play strength against more physical defenders and in contested catch situations could see improvement. I mean, he's 5'9", but I get it. While his route running is polished, ooh, I like that. While his route running is polished, additional subtlety and refinement could elevate his ability to generate separation against NFL caliber defenders. So he can get separation, but if he can tighten up a little bit, he can be even more dangerous. This guy might be legitimate, especially in the right offense. Concerns linger regarding his recovery from a 2022 leg fracture and overall durability. His skill set might be perceived as scheme specific, potentially limiting his versatility at the professional level. Fair enough. Smith's catch radius and ability to consistently win on the outside are constrained by his physical dimensions. Right, which is why he'll be better served in a slot. So look, some of these weaknesses are like, okay, measurable based, right? The height, the size, but based off what I read, he's a fearless player. Very sharp, very polished as a route runner, but still can use some improvement. Has great speed. So we'll see. I like him though. I like him. All right. But yeah, man. So far, I appreciate you guys for being great on the live stream today. 56 people on the Twitter side, on the X side, 38 people on the YouTube side. Thank y'all so much for locking in for as long as you guys have. I really appreciate it. Please make sure you guys smash that like button on the way in. Make sure you check it out on the way out as well. Like I always say, man, I'm always appreciative to you guys. Shout out to my man S Blunt for donating to the channel. I appreciate his time. I appreciate his investment in me. Always showing love. Always bringing that energy to the show. Really appreciate you guys. But yeah, that's going to be it. That's going to be it for today. We're going to talk tomorrow, and we're going to talk more about the Philadelphia Eagles draft targets, or guys that they brought in rather, for visits. So real quick, the guys we did address, we went over Brandon Coleman, Tyler Guyton, Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State, guard Christian Mahogany, guard Zach Zinner, wide receiver Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son, and Anais Smith out of Texas A&M. So we went through, I want to say, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players. We went through 7 players. So yeah, we're going to do that today. And I appreciate you guys. Chris Scott, I love you too, man. I love you too, bro. So yeah, there you guys have it. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. And again, please smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show if you're new. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Make sure you guys are locked in tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be live around 8 p.m. Eastern. So keep that in your mind. We're going to be live tomorrow around 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. So once again, we're going to be live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And there you have it, you guys. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. And you guys have been locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the gang.